Everything started when a lechuza, small owl, decided to sing very close to my window, deafening the songs of the cucuys, small endemic frog. In Puerto Rico there's a silly superstition that when you hear the lechuza is a bad omen. Or did it all started when one night I enter my room around midnight and it smelled like some neighbors were having a barbecue? But that couldn't been right because who does barbecue at that time, and it wasn't Noche de San Juan either, also nobody holds a barbecue every night afterwards. I mention this because later I learned that bad smells could be a sign of bad entities. Or was it because I switched from the room, where I lived my whole childhood and early teenage years and nothing ever happened, with my sister's room which she could have left negative energies behind? Or maybe it was all of the above. For the longest time I was debating whether to post these as standalones or pile them up into one. This is a summarized, but containing everything it needs, compilations of what I lived and what was before my sister's room in Puerto Rico. First thing to happen was I woke up like at 2 a.m., this was becoming a habit already, and saw this shadow floating on all the stuff I had in my dresser table coming towards me. It looked like a ball with dreadlocks all around it, moving in all directions, or you could say it was the shape of a tumor, I don't know. So I'm looking at it half asleep thinking what can make a shadow like this? And just when it was almost face to face with me I actually realized that nothing can make a shadow like this. I get up all startled, but it got scared I guess. I never saw something like it again. And from there everything got worse. I would wake up at the same time every night and feel something touching me, like caressing me head to toe, and yes, in the inappropriate parts too. I would think that is the fan moving so slightly, the sheets creating that sensation. But even if I get out of my blankets and turned off the fan, this thing, with like a dozen of hands, would not stop. It touches, ignoring whatever I was doing. One time I'm staring at particularly nothing, but it happened to be in the direction of my crotch area. I'm wearing only panties, is hot in Puerto Rico, when I clearly feel a finger sliding my panty to the side. I immediately focus and I actually see the panty when is sliding to the side by an invisible finger. Of course, I jump like a cat and pray. I was still somewhat Catholic at that time, until I fall asleep again. After a while, it seems that the caressing entity was getting a little frustrated by me not paying attention and just continued to sleep, so he started to strangle me awake. I'd clearly feel how hands impeded my breath until I awakened gasping for air, and then same hands would then resume with all the touching and caressing. By this time, with any happening I'd read from the Bible, not that I had any faith in it, but everyone I told this to would recommend me to read from the Bible. And I guess it worked, or I bored the entity to death, pun intended, because it stopped bothering me. Several months go by and nothing out of the extraordinary happens. I still wake up around 2 p.m. but because I'm so dumb that I forget to go to the bathroom before I go to sleep, sometimes the lechuzas are at full lungs, some other times it smells like barbecue but nothing happens. Until I wake up again by being strangled. Somehow I know this entity is different than the one before, and it proves it to me by trying to possess me. It felt like it was trying to pry into my nose, like that was the fastest way to enter my brain and therefore control my whole body. I was getting sick and tired of all this, so I would play tough and demand for it to leave me alone, but it would only make it more aggressive. One time it managed to move my leg against my will. It's a weird and alarming feeling to know that you're definitely not wanting to move your leg but it is jerking around on its own. Another time that I was fighting for it to not come up my nose, I focus on my reflection for the first time. This one started happening, and that wasn't me. Like in the eyes, there was a weird shine, a grin expressed through them, happy that something bad was about to happen. I already avoided my reflection at night because of stupid superstitions, but this just topped it. Well, since reading the Bible with the other entity worked, it should work with this one too, right? So I do that every night, like passive-aggressively I read. I think it was affecting my mood as well. I would fight this entity if it decided to show itself. The last night it ever bothered me I was reaching out to my Bible and the possessive entity slapped it to the floor. Again I don't see anything, I just see my Bible falling to the floor from what it clearly felt like something slamming it from my hands. That irritated me so much, I was like, you think this disrespectful for me that a Bible fell on the floor? And I proceeded to show it that I don't believe in anything anymore by swinging the Bible like a bat in all directions. I think I hit it and hard because this one was gone too. I don't even know how many years went by before I left that room, my home, my island that watched me grow to pursue my dreams, but they were at peace at least. The occasional barbecue smell, but they wouldn't dare to come after me. The occasional eerie song of the lechuza, but the coquis would silence them. Let me know what you think. I have never and will never tell my family about this. They're very religious and I'm not, but they think I am. I have one more experience since I moved to California, but that is a whole post on its own.